Good Sunday morning to you all. We got a lot of news breaking over this weekend. Want to get you guys up to speed on this. We got some reports coming from you guys as well. Let's get into it. This Watchmen update, we're going to be covering Iran launching its first intercontinental ballistic missile and the threat it has for everyone. Everyone is on edge in Europe right now as NATO and Russian warplanes are operating just across from the border from each other, both on high alert. We got a loyalty pledge that's being demanded by any journalist working at the Pentagon. They're not allowed to research anything anymore. That's kind of odd, but, don't be a journalist. We got airport chaos in Europe and in the United States after hacks and radar outages. And we got the specifics on the $100,000 tax on work visas and a whole bunch of reports coming from you guys. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. Thanks so much for being part of the Watchmen community. Appreciate you all. We also want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts to get out of stocks and bonds and into something better, like precious metals. So if you want to get into more precious metals, like in your IRA, your 401k, or even if you just want to move your cash over into precious metals that you can hold in your own hands. If you want to find out more about how that works or what the fees are and all that kind of stuff like that, they can explain it all to you. No obligation of moving forward. I'm going to put them down in the pinned comment down below. Just click on the link. Make sure you mention this channel so they do waive your setup fee. That, and there'll also be a link at the end of the video. All right, a U.S. federal judge has struck down President Trump's lawsuit, his $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times for defamation. He cited that there's something wrong with the lawsuit, but he did leave it open to be refiled. So it sounds like it might be like some legal technical issues in there that they need to fix before they refile it. So not sure that is really an end of the road for that case. If I were the New York Times, I would not stop paying my lawyers. All right, NATO jets have scrambled after Russia launches massive air assault on Ukraine. Of course, Romania is right up against the border of Ukraine as well as Poland. And basically all the European allies of the United States as well as the United States on edge after Russian warplanes violated Estonian airspace and allegedly flew drones into Poland. Though, turns out it sounds like a Polish joke, right? Turns out the Polish actually shot themselves with their own missile. But anyway, everyone's on edge anyway because it doesn't matter if it's true or not, everyone's still against the Russians. Anyway, everyone's just racing around, staring over the border at each other. Everyone's armed. It's a setup for something to go completely wrong. The Pentagon has demanded that journalists, U.S. journalists, everyone who covers the Pentagon, if you want to get into the Pentagon, you have to pledge not to obtain unauthorized material. So this doesn't matter if it's classified, unclassified. They can't get information that they're not expressly given by the press office there in the Pentagon. They will revoke press credentials of anyone who do not obey. Now, under wartime, that is necessary. I don't know. On one hand, journalists should be digging. On the other hand, should we be giving access to people who are digging to turn over our military secrets to our enemies? That's a legitimate question. Let me know what you guys think. Which is more important in this case, openness and transparency or security? Because you can't have both all the time, right? All right, Iran has test-fired a intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time, and it is big enough that it's capable of striking anywhere in Europe, including all of the UK. And it says all of Europe, so I guess that means Iceland as well. This is a major difference. They've never done this before, and They've just also pulled out of all cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is the UN anti-nuclear proliferation body. The IAEA has been spying on, monitoring Iranian nuclear sites for quite some time, but Iran has said, you need to get out of the country. We're not going to comply anymore. Over in Europe, things got a little crazy after a cyber attack caused delays at Heathrow Airport as well as Berlin and Brussels. So that's London, Brussels, and Berlin. All of them having to shut down operations due to these are big hubs over in Europe, not only for Europe, but then also international flights going over to Asia or Africa or anything like that. If you can avoid London Heathrow, if at all possible, you should probably try to avoid it. But anyway, that's my personal opinion. Hey, if you want to get arrested for your social media posts, that's the place to go. And if you want to miss your connection, that's also the place to go. Make sure you miss Paris's Charles de Gaulle, which is also pretty bad. All right, travel chaos not limited just to Europe, because over here in the United States, also a separate issue, but the FAA ordered ground stops for 2 Dallas airports. This is due to a cyber attack, and also that they lost all radar and phone communications. That's a big deal that happened Friday and snarled up traffic across the U.S., people connecting through Dallas. President Trump has announced another lethal strike on an alleged drug trafficking vessel. I say alleged because there hasn't been a court case, and lawyers don't seem to be involved in this. The Trump administration approves or disapproves ships based on an unknown criteria, and then orders the Navy to blow them out of the water. And then we have to trust them that they were bad guys on those boats, which, even if 99% of the time that's true, what happens when they think it's a drug trafficking vessel and it turns out it was a fishing vessel with a family on board? I am not a fan of this. I make no bones about that. I don't like the United States doing drone strikes on targets or blowing up boats out of the water. This is not war powers issued by Congress. And what are we doing? All right. Venezuela criticizing it, obviously, because it's Venezuelan boats getting blown out of the water just outside Venezuelan territorial waters. Basically, Venezuela is calling it an undeclared war in the South Caribbean. Apparently, we're attacking the pirates of the Caribbean or something. I don't know. Anyway. More specifics on the H-1B visa program. So this is for skilled foreign workers. Whenever American companies are like, hey, we can't get enough tech workers, so we need to import them from India, which is really where we're mostly talking about here. 72.6% of all H-1B visas were issued to Indians. So low-income Indians coming to the United States and making a whole bunch more money, and tech companies basically paying them to do that. President Trump has put a kibosh on this, not a total kibosh, but $100,000 non-refundable fee payable upon application, even if the visa is denied. Must be paid annually for each year the company employs an H-1B worker. Also, it raised the minimum salary requirement for these workers. They're so skilled that we don't have anyone in the United States that can do this. You can't pay them $60,000 a year anymore. You have to pay them at least $150,000, which kind of makes it cheaper just to hire somebody in the United States if you can find them, right? So this is going to make these tech companies a lot less likely to hire foreign labor. This is going to push them to either offshore those that work directly to those other countries or hire American workers. This applies to both existing and new H-1B visas. So basically, every year they're going to pay another $100,000 to the federal government, which is going to make that a little more expensive. Also, all H-1B visas are going to have to up their salary to all of the workers inside the United States already to at least $150,000 a year. All right, Blondie reports Northwest Connecticut. On Wednesday, all the state DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, computer services were down. Not sure why. Now, that was indeed a statewide outage of all computer systems in the DMV. It looked like they were back up and running by Thursday, but still not firing on all cylinders. Still not sure exactly all what happened or how they're going to fix it. Maybe they should hire someone for $150,000 from India and make sure they pay their $100,000 fee. Linda says, Central Kentucky here, we had a 4-hour power outage yesterday. Now, we have storms moving across, but also we have a lot of maintenance happening. In Kentucky, we have a number of data centers getting put in there and in Ohio as well. So they're mucking around with the grid in those locations particularly, and also Washington State. Terry says, yes, Lowe's, the home improvement store, has called me, and I live in an apartment. I told them to please remove me from their call list. So we're getting the reports that Lowe's and other like Home Depot and stuff are making calls to people trying to drum up business, because business is slow. People can't afford to upgrade and, remodel things like they used to. People are tight with money right now, and they can't go dropping tons and tons of money. Plus, people's home values have stopped going up quite so much, so they are unable to get higher home equity line of credits to then fund the remodels. I've talked to people, and you've probably heard of these type of people too, where they just keep remodeling things over and over again. Like, how many times do you need to remodel your kitchen or your bathroom? If you're on your third or fourth remodel, you might have a spending problem, right? But don't tell those people. Those people will never hear it. Never hear it from you. Hey, it's your money. You do with your money what you want to. But if you're borrowing it, then is it really your money? That's a whole nother question. Tactical Tuna Taco. That's a fun name. Florida is the same way. I'm a service plumber, and we charge $235 for the first hour plus materials. Nothing is cheap anymore. We're a small company too. There's only 3 of us, including the boss. Now, $235 plus materials. Yeah. That's the kind of rates you're getting out there for any kind of, especially if they have to drive out there, have the work van, all the tools and everything, and doing work that people don't want to do. That's why a lot of young people are moving into the trades, because they're a real good place to get some good, job security as well as good pay. Josh says from Mexico, Missouri, not the country, the state, all right? Mexico area of Missouri was helping cut down a tree for a farmer, and anytime we stopped moving, we were covered in lots of flies. He said he was kind of surprised by the flies because they sprayed 3 years ago for the Japanese beetles. It killed all of the bugs, not just the Japanese beetles, all of the bugs and sparrows. I asked him what they sprayed, and he said he didn't know. But they used a crop duster to do it. So figure if the bugs can't survive for 3 years. You got to love that, right? We have all sorts of chemicals getting dumped on us, and Even the people spraying it don't seem to know what the stuff is. It's like, I don't know, we're just using this stuff, this bug stuff. We're spraying it out of a plane. At least somebody's being honest about spraying stuff out of planes. Anyway, Nursing Life says, I just came from Sam's Club in Naples, Florida. Beef bottom round roast is $9.97 a pound, and regular beef roast is $7.72 a pound. The seasons have flocked back down here as well. So I believe they're talking about birds. Anyway, Alex says, I've grown several types of basil this year, and including cinnamon basil. After bolting, it has attracted a crazy number of honeybees. I only have a few 4-foot by 4-foot patches, and if you disturb the patch, it looks like you kicked open a beehive. So if you're looking to get more honeybees where you are, maybe that might help. But we all need to be planting more flowers. It's necessary because if we don't help the bees, who will? Madam K says, Northeast Wisconsin. In 2017, I had a restaurant. I had just paid the electric bill the same day that I got the call saying that if I didn't give them $2,600, they were going to shut me off. I said my bill was only $900. He said, we will have a sheriff come arrest you. I laughed. He said, ma'am, this is serious. Why are you laughing? I said, you want your money? Come get it. He said, you can pay with a credit card. I said, I don't have a credit card, and laughed again. He said, then send me your checking account number. I laughed, and he said, I have had you on the phone for 18 minutes. It takes 15 to trace your call. He hung up and never called again. He had an Indian accent. Friends, yeah, if someone calls you asking for money, I don't care what their story is. In fact, the crazier the story is, the less likely you should be willing to check it. You can ask, so who would I check with to verify this? If they're legitimate, they're going to tell you how to do that, right? Don't call a number that they give you. Don't follow an exact address. But ask for the company name, and then you can Google that company yourself, okay? If it's a business you're already doing business with, that makes sense. Go to Google, type it in, and then, click on a reliable link to that website, and then go and contact their customer support or billing over there to check to see if what these people are saying is true. Don't just give people money, especially when it's these big companies like Amazon, Verizon, or T-Mobile. They know that so many people have these interactions with these business, Netflix, that they can call up random people, and there's a high likelihood that those people are going to have that service, okay? So please, 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 if you get text messages or phone calls, do not be clicking on links. Do not be just taking everything. We need to be a little skeptical, especially if they have an accent, right? Paul from Southwest Ohio says, I have been experimenting this past month and unplugging everything I don't need while sleeping and during the daytime, and dropped my electric bill almost $30 just by unplugging the microwave and making sure that all cell phone chargers and tablet chargers are only powered when they need to. That's a pretty significant drop. Also, I just got a new hot water heater and furnace installed this week. So hopefully the winter gas bill will go down some anyways. Thanks for all your advice on this channel on ways to save. Take care. God bless the Watchmen community. I'm also going to say this too. If you're having trouble sleeping, charge your phone in a different room. Your phone is always putting off electromagnetic stuff. I'm not all into that, okay? But Wi-Fi is constantly hitting you with all sorts of electromagnetic stuff. Your phone is constantly communicating with the towers and stuff like that. They have scientific proof that you will get better sleep with your phone charging in another room. Now, part of that is that you don't reach over and keep looking at it. but also maybe not having some of those electronics charging near you while you're trying to sleep might also be good for you as well. You're already getting blasted with that much radiation. You don't need to be blasting yourself all night long with it too. Don't worry, everyone will be okay until morning, okay? Emily says, Sam's Club, watch your orders. I got split orders with 2 items, marked delivered, only 1 in each box though. It happened twice now. Called twice and they offered to issue a refund. They almost only issued a refund for 1 item. Make sure you ask the amount that they are refunding on your credit card. This split order thing has happened before. Always check your stuff, check your receipts, check your bills. Please, please. You got to do it for yourself. You got to do it for your family. Too many mistakes being made out there. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold Group, there's a link right there or down in the pinned comment down below. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.